Mic check. Great. Hi, everybody. My name is Troy Track Select. This is the Select Few Sessions, and if you're watching, you are one of the Select Few. And coming to the stage, it's the masters of the mythos, the people who purport passion in the public, the Polaris of pop stars. Coming off of their latest album, Public Love, they want to love you out loud. It's Littrell!
few light songs to start us out for our night together. Hi, you're beautiful. I'm so happy you're here. People I've never met before, people that I've known a long time, everything in between. I'm Littrell. We're Littrell. I'm Lindsay. And we're just really excited to be able to be here with you tonight. Thanks for coming out and braving the bugs. There's bug spray somewhere. Raise your hand if you have bug spray. I'm also a community organizer. I have to do these things. We have bug spray. I have water down here if anyone needs water. I care about you. So the majority of what we're doing tonight is off of our debut record, Public Love. And I'll let you know, there's a few others that are not, but this next one is Streams, and we just finished Cycle. introduce my band to you. Garrett Langy Bartles over here. My co-producer on this record and collaborator and friend, and he's a producer who has a studio, Naptime Recordings, and his own band, King Flower. We have Sam Mosey over here. He has a band, River Thief. We've got C over here, who plays for a lot of people, right? Brilliant. And his little babies. We've got Tommy Travis, who's in King Flower as well. And we have Howie, who is Howie. Look him up. Look all of them up. They're amazing. This next song is a collab I did with a Virginia, DC-based producer, Clutch Boy Kuma, and it's the newest single.
Do you
much I want to say, but also there's a 30-minute interview after this, and so I'm trying to save my words for that. Yeah, I'll save what I was going to say next for after the next song, but I'm just continue to be so glad to see more people come in and hanging out. I love it. You're so welcome here. I'm Lindsay Littrell. So glad you're here. Thank you for being here with us. You're beautiful. This means a lot to me, and I hope it's like nourishing for you.
Did you know that I get too much to you? Did you see it then? Did you just take it? You break your promises. Did you know that your lovers always lose? Did you even care that your escape plan, that it only works for left the fallout, but I cleaned up stronger and travel with you wherever you run. May the wind be back. May life take you down the scenic path. I don't wish you harm, but I don't wanna be around where you look up and comments on your tracks. May the wind be your sails. May life offer you a burning head. I wish you well, and that's my final gift to you. You're on your way, just see it through. No, don't look back. May the wind be with you. Oversell the love you bring, overestimate your fatigue. You didn't know your limits. Did you overlook our history? Try to put all the weight of your chips on me. Try to make me win. You left the fallout, but I cleaned up stronger. You travel with you wherever you run. May the wind be you harm, but I don't wanna be around when you look up and comments on your track. May the wind be your sails. May life offer you a burning head. I wish you well, and that's my final gift to you. You're on your way, just see it through. Don't look back. May the wind be die for a second. Find your way. This life is a blessing. You can do anything you want, just somewhere else. May the wind be a back. May life take you down the scenic path. I don't wish you harm, but I don't wanna be around when you look up and comments on your tracks. May the wind be
This is so much fun. So, this next song, it's called Stories. And it's challenging all of these narratives that have been fed to us about who we are, who the other person is, all of us trying to prove that we're not bad, that we're good, and maybe escaping accountability in the process and not relating to ourselves as whole people who both do great things and maybe not great things and relate to others in the same way. And so I think what I want to say about this before we do it is we are in a time in history, if we ever weren't, I think we always have been, but we are certainly in a time in history where we have to recognize that no one is coming to save us, that we, as complicated, messy people who do both good things and bad things, who are both strong and maybe not strong, with other people who also do good things and bad things and maybe are strong and not strong, messy, real human people, we have to do the work of caring for each other and building the world that we know we all deserve, and also like resisting and dismantling that which is trying to harm all of us. And so this song can be taken in like a personal, relational way, and it can be taken in a systemic way, and I think that's true for all of it. And so just invite you to reflect on like how like owning that, like, you know, what if we start to question those stories and step into a different one together.
You're not as good as I let you think. I'm not as bad as you make believe. Both holding on to what we need. 'Cause if we let go, it's obsolete. All these stories we've been telling ourselves about the end. If we start to lay it all down and stop repeating, you're not as bad as I let you think. I'm not lay it all down? Can we lay it all down? Lay it all down. If we lay it all down, lay it all down. Can we lay it all down? Lay it all down. Can we lay it all down? Lay it all down. All the stories we've been telling ourselves about the yeah. If we start to lay it all down, stop it, yeah, yeah. All the stories we've been telling ourselves about the yeah. If we start to lay it all down, stop it, yeah. Stories we've been telling ourselves about the yeah. If we start to lay it all down, stop repeat, yeah. All the stories we've been telling ourselves about the yeah. If we start to lay it all down.
Thank you. Oh man, we got one more. Time flies when you're having a good time. I want to say a couple things just in case any of you disappear after this. There's going to be a little bit of a transition time and then a 30-minute live interview that you get to participate in. This is all for the Select Few Sessions YouTube channel, so that'll be up later. But you get to stick around and participate in that if you want to. But I want to say a couple things. I've got folks here to help you get involved, and I've got information at the table, and we've got people who are gonna wave to you right now, I think. See the people waving here in the middle? I'm a part of organizing around Palestinian liberation and to try to stop the genocide in Gaza. And there's a campaign called, Free Palestine. There's a campaign called Indiana fastforgaza.com. Fast for is spelled out, correct? IndianaFastForGaza.com. We're doing a relay fast where each of us are kind of handing off on a different day. We're doing a day of fasting and we're raising funds for the Middle Eastern Children's Association. And we are trying to get our government to divest in Israeli bonds and to push Todd Young to insist that nutritional packets make their way into Gaza. And so if you want to get involved in that, would love for you to get involved. My fast is next Saturday, and you can sign up to be a part of that relay as well. Love to have y'all get involved. And so we've got some folks here with information. We've got postcards here that we can work on, that you can send out right here during the transition time. 10% of my merch sales go to the Middle Eastern Children's Association as well. And so you can come down here and check that out. And then also, I don't know if do we have any rapid response? Okay, I have the rapid response hotline number. So also there are children here, so I'm saying F for the word F-ICE. And so we have a hotline number that you can call if you suspect that you see ICE, to report any ICE sightings. And we've got community members going out and trying to help keep people safe. and take care of community. And so that number, hold on. I have it all. Okay. The ICE rapid response number, if you want to put this in your phone, is 855 589 4639. And you can follow Indie Rapid Response on Instagram. You can follow JVP Indiana on Instagram. Also, I didn't share the abuse hotline number, but I wanted to after cycle. It's really important. So while your phones are out, let me give you one more number. There are too many of us, too many of our beloveds caught in cycles of abuse, and there's support no matter what roles you're playing in that process or your beloveds are playing in that process. So that number is 800-799-7233, or you can text BEGIN to 88788. If you need reminders of that, you can come to me after the show, and I'm happy to share that with you or share more.
From reality, when you go, you leave the ashes of your fantasies. They don't keep me warm. They just pile up on the floor and leave me feeling dirty.
We're gonna do that last. Let's do it one more time. Let's give the ending. Okay, we're gonna nail it. Let's start with the final verse.
all I'm holding. Are you listening? Are your projections shattering? Do you wanna come clean with me, real with me, baby? Do you wanna come clean with me, real with me, baby? Do you wanna come clean with me, real with me, baby? 'Cause I'm done with this fantasy, pretending. Beautiful.
Thank you. Love y'all. Thank you, Troy. Thank you. I'm so glad you're here. Stick around. Hang out with us. I want to meet you.
Okay, great. Hey, everybody. So it's going to take me about 10 minutes to reset for the interview portion, and I will see you then. Peace, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for staying around and hanging with us for the last little bit of this. For the interview portion, my name is Troy Track Select. This is the Select Few Sessions, and basically we do a show every month featuring artists from our great state of Indiana. Today, let's give it up for Littrell.
Thank you.
Oh, man. So, I usually start this off asking if you remember how we first met. But today is our first time actually meeting in person.
I remember it well.
So we'll just jump straight into the album portion. I think Public Love is quite a statement for the title of your album, especially in a time where the culture seems to be shifting things to be in a lot of privacy. A lot of relationships are kind of hid and quiet before they're made official, of course. So what made you go that direction for naming this album that?
Yeah. I mean, it's got layers to the meaning, but the first one is just that I've never had that luxury of privacy. All of my belly flops have been very public. I have many times in big ways, in ways that were my agency was a part of, and in ways that my agency was not a part of. My experience with heartbreak, especially, has been very public for most of my life, and so because of that, I really had to work through a lot of shame about that. And honestly, I think being able to talk about the fact that I've been married and divorced 3 times was harder for me. Like that felt like a bigger coming out, like being able to say that without any shame at all, like none. I feel 0 shame about it. That was more, that was like a scarier thing for me to say than when I came out as queer.
Now, when you talk about a lot of your relationships being very public and not having, I guess, the luxury of being private, what do you mean by that?
I'm a preacher's kid.
Okay.
I'm a preacher's kid, and my own family of origin exploded very publicly when I was 12, and I was, right in the middle of that, right as I was coming of age. And then, of course, I went on, as we do, to play out and try to fix those dynamics in my own relationships unconsciously and maybe even consciously at times. And so I went on to try to be like, I will right the wrongs that I witnessed, and I will find someone to right them with. And I kept trying.
Yeah, that happens, right? And I guess kind of turning it back to the album in terms of this difference between public and private, even the album cover is again being named Public Love, but it seems like it's the capture of a very private moment, and even then it's like obscured because it seems like the camera's behind the corner rather than like the picture of the two people depicted on the front with you being one of them. I guess what was the thought behind that?
Yeah. Well, so Public Love came from a quote by Cornel West.
Shout out to Cornell.
Yes, Dr. West says that tenderness is what love looks like in private, justice is what love looks like in public. And as I talked about in stories, like to me, all these songs have like an interpersonal, one-on-one way of playing out, and they also play out at a macro level, societally. And so, like the choice of Public Love is like part the fact that I've had to learn my lessons publicly, and part nod to Cornell and to Bell Hooks, who, chose to like not apologize for being a whole complicated person, including her desire for love. But it's also like a little bit of a flirtatious, maybe like slightly exhibitionist wink.
Mm-hmm.
And so, that like the cover is playing with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good. So clearly you've got a very strong theme that you're working through this album, and you kind of jumped straight into an album. I didn't see any EPs or things like that out there. Is that the case here?
Mm-hmm.
What made you jump straight into the album?
I had so much to say. I have hundreds and hundreds of songs that I've written, and I did record a little bit in my 20s and a little bit in my 30s, and it kept getting derailed and feeling like it was like outside of my control. And by the time, I hit my 40s, I realized that if I was going to live into myself, it was on me. And I didn't have any excuses anymore, that I couldn't keep giving my power away, that when I invest in other people, when I encourage them, when I believe in them, they go on to thrive. And why couldn't I give that power to myself? And so by then, I had hundreds of songs, and, it's like, I don't want to tiptoe in. I'm ready. I've got stuff to say. I've lived a lot of life, and I don't think we started out thinking we were going to like do 18 tracks, but I came in with like, how many, 40, 50, 60? Yeah, I had a lot, and we narrowed it down a little bit, but we kind of kept a lot of them on the side. And then I kept writing more. And so half the songs on the album I wrote while we were recording the album. And so, this is me holding back. Yeah.
I can understand that after having such a large catalog and trying to figure out what do you want the first thing that you say to be. And I guess I'll dig a little bit into that because that was one of the questions I had. A lot of the tracks on this album hover around the 1 minute mark, just above or just below, about 7 of them to be specific. And they're kind of like these little vignettes. What made you include those in that kind of 1 minute form?
Yeah. I try to listen to the songs and let them be what they want to be. And so, I am their servant. And when they tell me they're done, they're done. And so, if a song ends up being a 30-second song, that's what it is. But the record is, we had a very filmic perspective the entire time we made it. And so we really made it the whole time like we were scoring a record, or scoring a movie. And so, those are just like carrying the story, both musically and lyrically, like forward.
So I'll dig a little further on that. The song "Forever" specifically is the shortest song on the record. I think it's like 46 7:49 seconds.
That's interesting.
I was like, was that an intentional choice? But it looks like it might have just happened to go like that.
Yeah, that's really funny.
Yeah. Well, I guess let's talk about Forever, since we don't have to talk about it that long. It's only 3 seconds. But like, what was the mindset of that song in particular as a mode to carry from one moment to the next?
Well, I don't know, me as an artist, it's usually like grief or angst that drives me to express. It's, that's what makes me, I have to go to the piano. Like, I'm not okay. That is the way that I become okay, is taking my angsty feelings to the piano. Happiness doesn't make me do that, I think that's true for most artists. It's like, when things feel good, like I might occasionally write a like early love song or something, but like happiness generally isn't like compel you. Like, I won't be okay if I don't get this out. But because of that, I really felt like, and Forever is an authentic song. I wrote it in a moment where I felt what I was writing. But there's so many angsty songs that are real hard, and it's like they don't make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense how, if you don't hear the sweetness, if you don't hear the tenderness, if you don't hear the actual love, then you don't understand how a person ends up in the situation. And so that needed to be represented, even if I could only write a 40-something second song about it.
Well, yeah, so I guess let's start at the beginning. I think the first song is Meet Me in the Water. So what was the mindset of wanting to start the record off with that?
Yeah, I wrote Meet Me in the Water near the end of the record, listening to streams, listening to Garrett's guitar solo on streams, which we use in Meet Me in the Water. And I was listening to it, and it just inspired that, and that's what came out. And after I wrote it, it just felt like, yeah, no, that is the invitation into these waters. That is the invitation, both maybe like me to whoever, the love object or whatever love subject is at the time, but also like us to y'all. Like, it is an invitation into, like, come on in, like, I'm gonna meet you here. And so it just felt like it was the right. And I play with water metaphors a lot, obviously, but it just felt like, come on in,
Yeah, because there's a song pretty soon after that. I'm trying to decide how I want this to go, but there's a song pretty soon after that called Shark Week. And, I probably would have been like, ooh, meet me in the water, and immediately after, we're going to go Shark Week. But it seems like in Shark Week specifically, and there's a lot of this on the record, and we'll kind of open back up in a moment, but there seems to be like a lot of harm on both sides, both parties in that song in particular. I think there was the Shark Week every night, I bite and he lays there bleeding, and then same thing for you, where Shark Week every night, I lie there, he bites, I lie there bleeding. I guess, what was that kind of situation like at the time?
I usually don't get into specifics, but this particular person doesn't care. Is usually generally kind of happy to be included. So I'm less cautious about details with this one. This was at the start of, this was maybe like less than a year into my second marriage. And I already knew what destruction felt like. I'd already lived through it. And I was so hopeful and so determined going into my second one. I felt so much shame. I was so determined to not, get a divorce, because, I had associated at the time divorce as like the thing that caused my trauma when I was 12. It wasn't, but that's what I associated it with. And so I tried so hard not to ever get one. And so then I'm in my second marriage, and then like, this is gonna work. We're gonna make it. This is the one. And less than a year in, it's just like I knew what destruction felt like, and it was happening. And I was so grief-stricken and scared, and I felt so. I wrote this when I was 29. I was just so mystified, at like how to like, that's why I'm like calling out to higher power, save us from ourselves. Like, I didn't know what to do, but I was desperate for that love to be saved. And of course, you can hear me hearkening to that in the bridge. Like, do you remember? Like, do you remember when? You know, and yeah, yeah, I'm glad that even 29-year-old Lindsay knew not to write a song that was like, you're all bad and I'm all good, because that's just never true.
Yeah, that's typically not how it works. I mean, even any relationship counselor, marriage therapist, whatever, kind of says there's always some faults on both sides to some degree. It's not a black and white situation most of the time. Well, I guess in that same theme, you have a song called Cycles, right? And it seems like you were starting to maybe see some patterns on Shark Week, possibly, of what you just explained it to be then. Did you see any of these cycles? Because you talk about being addicted to this cycle of like going back to this person. Did you see any of these cycles in other relationships in your life, whether it be like parental, work relationships, friendships? Was that something you found yourself in often?
It's a good question. I wrote Cycle. It certainly is about a specific relationship, but more than being about a specific relationship, it is, because I wrote it years after I was out of the relationship that is the strongest muse for it. But it's mostly about me trying to make sense of what in me is magnetized to these what in me was magnetized to these relationships in which these abusive relationships in which I would kind of just be desperate to try to like be good enough to save them. And so, as much as it's like it's reflecting on specific experiences, it is also like I'm the common denominator. I'm at this point, I'm like, I moved from being 29 when I write Shark Week to being 43 when I write Cycle. That's a long time to like just now be asking that question.
Do you think that you've kind of escaped that cycle now? Are there things that call out to you maybe when you start getting involved with someone, you're like, oh, like, I don't really like this, I'm going to remove myself from the situation?
Yeah, I haven't been in a relationship since way before I wrote Cycle, and so.
But it doesn't have to be romantic in a sense. I just mean in general, meeting people. You're like, ooh, I don't like this, I'm going to remove myself.
Oh yeah, I move slowly now and observe and pay attention, and I know what it feels like to feel good in my body, and I didn't before. I know what peace feels like, and so like the things that I didn't have a benchmark, anything to compare it to, and so, I feel confident that I will never end up in a relationship like that again. Do I yet feel confident that I know how to build anything else? I don't, but I won't do that.
As long as it just feels different than what may feel familiar.
Yeah, I mean, I won't betray myself again.
I think with this album in general, it seems like you've got a very strong idea of like what mood you're trying to bring throughout it. It's a lot of darkness and dark colors that go throughout it. Did you have kind of a mood board that helped you decide, okay, this is where we're going to go and this is how we're going to stick to it?
I'm pretty instinctive. I mean, I love a good vision board, a good mood board, but when it comes down to it, I'd like tend to just go with like what calls to me in that moment. And so when we shot the visual album, I mean, that really became the visual universe for the record. And that was all just so instinctive and spontaneous. I booked what's it called? Paul's Flower Shop. And Marcus flew in from LA, and Christian and Marcus and I took over it for 3 days, and Garrett came out and for a day, and we had Austin Webster with us as a gaffer for a day. But it was mostly just Christian and I for the whole time, and Christian and Marcus and I.
And Christian and I kind of like looked through the room and thought about like through each room, and we're like, this room feels like the mood for this song. But we worked with what was there. I mean, I brought my own stuff and like did set design, but we worked with what was there and just kind of like played around and tried stuff out, and then like I let just kind of like I said, I'm a servant to the songs in the same way. It's like I let the images show me what they wanted to communicate.
Now, in terms of keeping the sound kind of cohesive and a through line throughout the album, did you guys stick with certain equipment or softwares? I know this might be a super
Garrett Lange
producer
Bartles, you want to
question.
come down here?
I don't even know it's so dark now. There he is. Okay. But yeah, I'm just curious if you guys were sticking with certain synthesizers or, maybe a certain filter or something to make sure that you kept the same sound kind of throughout it.
It's probably a yes and no situation. There's like an ever-evolving door of equipment in my studio. I'm buying and selling, and people are leaving stuff there. So there's my pedal board that is like kind of a constant. So a lot of the synths went through that. A lot of almost all the guitars went through it. The bass sometimes went through it. So that definitely helped tie it together. We tried to perform as much as possible. There was some like MIDI involved, but a lot of it was analog and recorded straight in, which is kind of the way that I do things predominantly. But the other thing is we had one of Lindsay's friends mix the record, which kind of, I think we were 18 songs deep into it, and we had done mixes, and it needed a third hand to kind of land the plane. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like a huge difference from, when we passed it off, but it was enough that it brought the whole record together.
Now, are you a guitar player primarily or no?
Yeah, guitar, and then a bass is a pretty close second.
So this is something I was thinking about because this is just what happens with a lot of guitar players. Was it a lot of practicing of restraint through this record when you guys were making it?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think our process was like, I'm very like, let's just come in and see what happens. Like, I could plan, but that wouldn't be very much fun. So we'd come in and we'd find the sound, and then I'd play something that was way over the top. Yeah. And then it was a process of refining, literally like note by note most of the time, to try and find the thing that just kind of sat perfectly. Yeah. In some songs there's only one guitar part, in some songs there's literally like probably 10.
Okay. So. Yeah, a lot of layering. Very good. For those who aren't super familiar and aren't in a lot of music spaces where you're playing instruments, guitar players a lot of the time want to do the biggest solo, biggest sound that they can possibly get. And with this record in particular, the guitar is there, but it's very muted, very pulled back, some very bare bones type of stuff. So I just had to ask what that kind of conversation was like in the midst of creating that record.
Yeah, I think there was definitely a draw on like R&B guitar playing a lot in the record, which I feel like a good R&B guitar player is not overplaying. And so there's that, like, the tones are rock and roll, but the way that we move through the songs, it's more supporting the melody rather than kind of overtaking the melody.
I gotcha. Very good. Let me see.
Is that it for me?
Yeah, man. Everybody shout out to Garrett, man. Okay. So I always give the audience a chance to ask any questions if they have any. And so this is your chance. If you have any questions for Littrell and you want to ask, go for it. Please. What was the hardest song for you to make?
What was the hardest song for me to make? I mean, Cycle, we started recording it a few hours after I wrote it, and when I wrote it, that was the moment of revelation. And so that was raw. Like I'd had therapy, I went to the piano, the song came out, and I was in the studio a few hours later. I don't know. I'm trying to remember. Where did Garrett go? Huh?
Shark Week?
Yeah. 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 Yeah, Shark Week we reimagined multiple times because it wasn't like it was like each version was a cool version, but it wasn't like emotionally true to what the story was that we were telling. That was our goal. That was our only goal, was to like communicate the feeling.
Very
Yeah.
good. Does anyone else want to ask a question? Go for it. Yeah.
Those are great questions. Thanks for asking, both of you. So the question was, who are my influences, and are there soundtracks in my future? um, so, uh, so my only goal in making this record was to pull out my guts and see what they are. We didn't decide on, like, we want it to be this genre or to sound like this. But of course, we are what we eat. No person is just like an artist out of nowhere. And like, obviously, you're influenced by everything, and I've listened to a lot. I would say I can list a lot of names and I'll probably forget them. I mean, I was like raised on Amy Grant. She was my idol. I loved her. I thought she would like meet me someday and know that I was obviously like going to, like, I was her junior, I loved her so much. But I Van Hunt, Michelle Indegiacello, Janet Jackson, Jonathan Brooke, Amel LaRue, Radiohead. I always get so mad at myself after I hear myself name because I leave out like huge,
And
like.
there's nothing you can do about it, for real.
Yeah, there's so many. I'm so deeply influenced by so many different amazing artists, and there's so many more contemporary artists that I really love and appreciate. But like in high school, I was listening to the Fugees and Erykah Badu, but I was also like listening to Fleetwood Mac and Heart, and I love Def Leppard. I mean, like the influences are all over the place. I think that's why people have a hard time figuring out exactly where this fits because of that, which I like, but also sometimes makes it hard to like sell stuff.
Yeah, people like very explainable things.
Yeah.
That's just part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone else have any questions they'd like to ask?
Oh, I didn't answer the second half
Oh,
of the
I'm sorry.
question.
Go ahead,
I
go
just
ahead.
remembered. I forgot it. Soundtracks. Yes, stuff is in the works. In terms of like sync, it's called like sync, but like having your music on film and television. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Stuff is happening. Looked for real wood. This is not real wood. Someone knock on it for me if you're near it.
Go for it, please.
I wish I could understand what you're saying. Freedom, yeah. Some of the sounds we pulled in. So Freedom opens, you can hear, like, I think you can hear fire crackling and a voice talking in the background. I took that is from a video that I took of my friends when we were having a bonfire on a hilltop in Palestine near Bethlehem in the West Bank. We were at a place called the Tent of Nations, which is this single hilltop in which this Palestinian family has been fighting to maintain their land, completely surrounded by settlements, illegal settlements. And they invite people from all over the world to come there, and there's safety in having foreigners there. to witness, because the government, the Israeli government, does not allow them to have, they're doing everything they can to get them off of their land. They're not allowed to have running water. They're not allowed to have electricity. They, they're not allowed to have any permanent structures. They're one of the few Palestinian families who happens to have a deed from the Ottoman Empire, which is why they've been able to kind of have any fighting chance in court. But settlers regularly come onto the land and burn their olive trees. It was a beautiful night and a terrifying night and a heartbreaking night. But they're just such a symbol of resistance. And so that the sound at the start of the song is my friend Saif saying, he was a Boy Scout and he was building the fire that we were having. And he said, if we want to keep the fire going, we have to keep feeding it more wood. And so that just, when I listened back to it, when I thought about like resistance and movement work, like if we want to keep it going, we have to keep feeding it. And so that's what is at the start of freedom.
Does anyone else have any more questions? It's dark, so I might miss you. Okay, cool. All right. Is there any kind of final statement that you want to say?
Oh. We're working on more stuff.
Yeah, Bad just came out not too long ago.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bad just came out. Garrett and I are in the studio right now, working on another project. I'm also in the studio right now working on a project with Melissa Maddie, who's the person who mixed and mastered Public Love, and writing and being a person in such a time as this, and being a person with so many of you in such a time as this, and I feel really, I take very seriously the responsibility, like the role of the artist in these moments, and I'm gonna do my best to keep showing up.
Okay. Well, yeah, everybody give it up one more time for Littrell. Yeah. And we thank you so much for coming. This is actually, it happens to be the 3rd year anniversary of the Select Few Sessions.
Congratulations.
So I really appreciate you guys coming out. And I guess we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Thank you, Troy. Thank you, everyone.